So let's go ahead and finish this up. Once again, a reminder, this is what the test is going to be like. Not the one that's going to be for this class, but it is going to be for the certification test prep itself. It's approximately 50 questions, but in this case, the study guide tells you that it's exactly 47 questions. And so 2/3 of it is pure multiple choice. 1/3 of it is actually matching, where you need to click on and drag the answers, and you must put it in the correct order. Okay, that's called navigation, and that is 1/3 of the exam. You will not get the actual exam or like the actual program to look at, so you have to do a lot of memorization. Okay. So you have to score at least a 700. Okay, no more, no less than 700 for you to pass the exam, which is about 70%. Okay. You will should be receiving a practice exam code from me or from the staff. Okay. Usually that will take anywhere from a week or two to be sent to you. Okay, I already sent an email to request those links, okay, or those codes. So you should be expecting an email from one of us soon. So please check the email, the one especially that you signed up with the school with, not with Google Class, unless it's the same. Okay, so make sure you check your emails for it. Now, here on out, today is the last day, okay? You guys are going to be taking your actual reading exam for tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, okay? So, but here on out, practicing, studying, and so on and so forth is all on your own terms, okay? This class, again, it's almost near impossible to teach you or have you practice anything just because, again, they expect us to teach you 14 chapters in 15 days. So realistically, it's not possible. Okay, but I did go over like the questions for you. So again, on the Google Classroom, you have extra practice materials. Okay, so I've uploaded practice exams with the answers with them, okay? And I've also uploaded the practice study guide from the actual Intuit /Certiport. They teamed up to provide an actual study guide for you, which I've already mentioned on the first day of class. So again, please check that out, okay? So again, and you can use the test that we do in class as a means for you to study, but it is not going to reflect anything that is on the actual certification exam, okay? So again, it's 47 questions, and you have 50 minutes to answer the questions. So that's approximately 1 minute per question, okay? And so once you get your practice links, okay, your job is to practice those tests. And out of those tests, we require at least you to pass it with a 90 percentile twice, okay, before you can go ahead and schedule for the actual certification exam. If you have not reached 90%, or maybe you did 90%, then you got 70%, then you got 80%, no. You need to do it 90% twice, okay? In a row would be the better deal. However, I don't recommend you to stop there, okay? I recommend you to do it until you get 90% about 4 or 5 times, okay? Just to ensure that you know the ins and outs of these questions, okay? So the practice exam is going to be through Geometrics, okay? I've also posted a link on the Google Classroom on how to set up your Geometrics codes, okay? So if you go to the Google Classroom, you will see that I have uploaded the this worksheet. It's on this right here, where it helps you. Okay, oh wait, it's on. It's on this one right here. No, not that one. It is under certification. So right here, under the certification, right here, G metrics, redeeming your practice exam. So this gives you the whole steps on what you need to do to get your practice exams. Okay, so you need to enter your code in here, and you need to go. You need to go ahead and click on the exam that you're trying to do, and you will get the options to do a lot of stuff, okay? Yes.
So we won't be able to actually activate it until we get the code, and it can be up to 2 weeks, you said?
No, up to 2 weeks. I already requested it, so that means wait for up to 2 weeks to get the code. Yes. Yes. If yes.
All right, thanks.
So sometimes it'll be instant. Sometimes it will take a couple days because again, the staff and as well as me, we're managing more than one class. Okay, so be patient. Yes.
How many attempts do we have
You
per
have.
practice?
That's a good question. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think you have about 30 attempts per exam. So you're going to get 2 exams, okay? And you get 2 different modes. You can do practice mode and you can actually do test mode. So practice mode is where you get to take your time. Test mode is where they actually time you. You get 2 of them, okay? And you have 30 times to take that exam, okay? And of course, like I mentioned before, right? We have this test prep questions here, and I've even attached 3 extra practice exams for you. Okay, so you're not limited to just those 2. You have 3 extra more as well. Right, so this is under the QuickBooks practice exams, and you have the answers that go with them as well. Okay, yes.
So we can access those practice exams now before we
Correct.
get the code? Okay,
Correct. Yeah, these ones are already available for you.
okay.
Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and dive right into this. So this is where we last left off. Okay. We're just going to go over everything that we skipped. So in this case, first one we have here is question 14, how to keep the lists of customers, vendors, and items and preferences from a file while deleting all other transactions, okay? Do you remember this one? What is this feature? How do I do this? How do I keep all my lists of vendors, customers, items, and preferences while deleting all other transactions? Okay, this was the very last thing I taught you.
Make a backup.
Not a backup.
Not a backup.
Does a backup delete all the transactions? Okay, it's step 11 in the closing process.
So you're keeping the old files,
You're
but you're deleting the old transactions?
you're keeping
You,
the lists of the people, all your vendors, all your customers, you're keeping all that information intact,
right?
but you're deleting all the transactions that exist. So basically, you're starting your file all over again without getting rid of.
Without the inputted information. You're
Correct.
just keeping
Mm-hmm.
their their personal information. Well,
Correct.
the information for the company and stuff, but all the so you're clearing the rest.
Yep.
So you're saying how do you do it?
Yes. And also, what is it called?
Is it to clean up?
Okay. Good. Keep reading. What do you call that?
The clean up data file
Mm-hmm. How do you do that?
will consider you the size of your data file, but will probably not be necessarily every year.
Mm-hmm.
The data file clean up is in envelope process that should be done by your accounting or QuickBook. Like, you want how do we do it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm,
Is it called closing
So
the
that would
book?
be closing out the year?
Not closing out the year.
Closing the books.
That is what you're trying to do. That's part of the process of closing the books.
Setting up a closing date.
That is not what I'm talking about right now. So it's step 11. Step 11.
Oh, make a condensed file.
Thank you. There you go. Condense file is what it's called. Okay. Now, how do you do it?
Go to file menu. Let me get out of full screen. Go to file menu.
Okay, so go to file menu.
Create copy.
Not create copy.
Not create copy. Utilities.
Utilities. Excellent.
And then from utilities, you go to condensed data.
Excellent. Good. That is correct. Okay, so file menu. You're going to go to utilities. Then utilities.
Do we have to memorize that?
Yes. It was on
Yes.
it was on my exam.
Oh, okay.
But that doesn't mean it's going to be on your exam, but yes, that is definitely something you should know because you could be tested on it. You need to know file menu, right? That's step 1. Step 2 is to go to utilities. Step 3 is to go to condensed data. You need to know the exact order of the exact step. You may need to know what the definition is. What does it mean? What do you call that when you need to delete all your transactions but keep all the lists? We call that condensed data file. Okay. All right. Let's see what's next. Here, we got chart of accounts, lists, and items. I don't know why I highlighted that. Let's see what this is supposed to be. So chapter 2. How to set up lists. Okay. Oh, okay. So items. I think that's what I was looking at. In this case, you guys should be able to know how to do this. So this section repeats again in chapter 8, so I'll skip that part right now. Okay, let's see what the next one is. Okay. Right here, items, okay? All right, now we're going to be jumping into chapter 8, territory. What are items? Okay? What are items? Okay, so in this case, how QuickBooks use items to perform the necessary accounting entries. Okay, so first off, what are items? Why do we need to set up items?
Items are products and services your businesses purchase or sell.
Good. Products. It's a list of products and services you purchase to resell and or provide. Good. Okay.
Yeah, it's on page 281.
And also, and to be a little more expansive on that one, right? It is to be used in the sales process. Okay. So sales forms. Okay. Good. Okay. What are the different types of items and when to use each one? So can anybody tell me that page? The list of all, I think it's 11 items.
Can you repeat the question again? What is the what list?
What are the different types of items?
Item types are in page 282.
Thank you. So let's do an example. What's the type of item?
Inventory part items.
Good. Inventory part. Make sure you know the difference between a inventory part versus using a non-inventory part. Okay? Okay, good. Okay, making sure you know the difference between them because you will be asked a series of questions and determining the difference between the inventory parts and what are examples of those inventory parts or items, items. So you could be asked a navigation question or something like that where you get a list of items, right? And your job is to separate them and categorize them based on service, inventory, non-inventory, inventory assembly, all that jazz, okay? Okay, so when to use items for different types of scenarios. So for example, when do you use an item for products at a specific price? What kind of item would you use if you're trying to sell a product at a specific price?
Discounted item.
Not discounted item. Discount item is a calculating item that allows you to apply a discount. So if you sell a product at a specific price, What kind of item would you use if you're selling a product?
Payment item.
No, that is if you're using that to have like an advance payment, or you can use that as part of a means to say that someone already paid. You're selling a product. A product.
A product.
That's the key word. You're selling a product. How do you keep track of selling your products? How do I know how many products I have in stock?
Your inventory.
Is yes, inventory. Inventory part or non-inventory part. Okay. What about services for a specific price? What kind of item would you use for a service for a specific price?
Service item.
You will use a service item. Good. Okay. What about if it's a unique product, okay, or service that has different prices, okay? Hence,
Would that be custom?
is there a custom item? There are 11 items on that list.
Okay, no.
If you sell a unique product, what makes it so unique?
Okay, so you're saying that it's 11 of them?
There's
Page
11,
282?
yes.
The service item, inventory parts item, inventory assembly items. You mean, but is that what you're asking? The 11 types?
Yes.
Those are item types.
Yes. Those are a lot. Yes, those are item types. Yes. So out of that list of 11, you need to know how to set up one, and you need to know what the difference is. Why? Okay, so we already did service. If you're gonna have a service item, then you must be having a service that you provide. If you're selling a product, right, it could be an inventory part or a non-inventory part. Now I'm asking you, what if you sell a unique product? Think about it, every single store that exists. What makes them differ from everybody else if it is a unique product that you cannot get anywhere else? Starbucks is an example of a unique product.
How is that?
Think about it, Starbucks. What makes them so unique?
They sell coffee, but you can get coffee in other places.
Right, but what do they sell to you that is unique?
The name of the
No, no, no. I'm talking about products. It's a unique product. What do they sell to you that's unique? What can you get at Starbucks that you can't get at Dunkin' Donuts?
I don't know. I don't go to Starbucks, but when I do,
it's
I don't
like they have a cake and
No.
know. That's not unique.
Their service?
No.
No, that's not unique.
They sell to you a unique product, don't they?
What's unique about it? What makes it so unique? I'm not. The word unique would mean that it's one of a kind, special, right?
Correct, correct. What can I get at Starbucks that I cannot get at another store?
Let me see. I can get coffee. I can get water. I can use the bathroom. Um,
What kind of coffee do they sell?
different types of coffee. Oh, the variety? No.
What makes the product unique? What do they do? What kind of coffee do they sell?
They sell a Starbucks coffee.
Oh, that's it.
No. Okay, yes, they sell Starbucks coffee, but what makes it? How do you know it's Starbucks?
The cup.
The cup, okay, okay, but what do they do? Can I order something at Starbucks that I cannot order something at a regular store? Yes, it can create it, but however, the different tastes, the different ways that they can serve the coffee to you. What is so different about Starbucks and any other store?
No, I'm waiting on you to tell me because I don't see anything unique about it.
So would you say it's a group item then?
Not a group item, but you're getting closer. Not a group item. What do you call that? Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys because you're not getting anywhere here. They create frappuccinos. You can go to Starbucks and order a caramel macchiato frappuccino, and you can make it the way you want it. You could say, I want it with almond milk. I want it like this. They create the product. Can I get that
They
same?
don't have that anywhere else.
They do, but is it gonna taste the same?
Oh no, I never had it. Okay.
The question I'm trying to get at is Starbucks build their own brands because they create unique products. Yes, you can go to a store and get the same Frappuccino. Actually, if you did not know this, Frappuccino is trademarked by Starbucks, if you did not know that. So anybody else that uses
I didn't know
Frappuccino,
that.
if anybody that uses Frappuccino, they can't use it because Starbucks trademarked that.
Doesn't McDonald's have frappuccinos?
They do, but because they're both corporations, they work together.
Oh,
Um,
so then that wouldn't be unique.
yes, it is unique because can you tell me, is a McDonald's Frappuccino the same as a Starbucks Frappuccino?
What she means is Starbucks have their own unique raw products or raw materials to
Their own unique taste, their own unique blend. When you taste
yeah,
it, you
so
know
it's
that it's from
Exactly.
Starbucks.
basically assembly item.
Yes, it's an assembly item. So in this case,
Oh, okay.
so when okay, like I said, right? You say McDonald's and Starbucks, they sell frappuccinos. It's not unique. The uniqueness is how they made it. You think McDonald's is gonna say, "Oh, I want mine with almond milk. I want no whipped cream, and I want you to use this kind of pump of syrup." Do you think McDonald's can do that for you?
Nah, they're not gonna do that.
No, they're not gonna do that. So they're not gonna create a unique product. Okay. However, Starbucks can do all of that. So that's what I'm trying to say. They sell a unique product. Okay. So maybe McDonald's is a great example, right? Yes, they sell chicken nuggets. Yes, they sell the Big Mac. But can you get the Big Mac anywhere else? Can you get the Big
No,
Mac? No, you can't
no.
because that's a unique product that McDonald's makes. They
And the
make
Whopper for burger. Okay, now I get
Yeah,
it.
okay. Maybe that was a better example. Okay, so
Yeah, I got
inventory.
grandkids. We those the spots I hit. We don't. We never get to go to Starbucks. This can't take kids there. You have to be, you know, high on the hog to go in there. That's just for adults.
Okay, I mean, it's been around for 20 some years now,
I
so
know, yeah, but when you got kids, you got to go the other route. McDonald's, Burger King.
Okay, so yeah, McDonald's, right? Can you get the Big Mac anywhere else? That makes it a unique product because that makes it stand out. So in this case, a unique product meaning they build their products instead of buy it from a you know, wholesaler or a manufacturer and reselling it, right? Like, so for example, Target, Walmart, they have their own brands, but they also sell the same brands that you can get anywhere else, right? If I'm trying to find, try Snuggle, right? Snuggle is in Target, it's in Walmart, it's at Albertsons, it's at the local CVS store. You can get that product anywhere. That's not a unique product. However, McDonald's, they don't sell the Big Mac at Carl's Jr. They don't sell the Big Mac at somewhere else, at In-N-Out, right? They create their own product. They create a unique product that makes it different from everybody else, and that is inventory assembly. Okay, make sure you know the difference between inventory assembly and an inventory group item. Okay, group is when they bundle up. So again, you could get the Big Mac meal instead of buying everything individually, right? The Big Mac meal comes with fries and a Coke, right? But in this case, if you want to separate them, you can separate them and sell them. Okay, here's your Big Mac, here's your fries, here's your Coke. But it's much cheaper if you just buy it together as a bundle. So that's the difference between inventory assembly and a group, okay? I'm going to skip this one because one service item and a product is the same as, inventory part and services. Okay? All right, next section here. Oh, we're done with chapter 8? Never mind. We're done with chapter 8? Oh, this is sales process, sorry. The different types, they don't talk about, excuse me, okay, let's skip it and move on forward. So the next one is going to be chapter 5, okay, where we have other bank transactions, okay, so how do we handle bounced checks? Okay, so how do we handle bounced checks? How do you handle a bounced check? It should be like a couple pages into chapter 5.
It's we go to open the receive payment
Okay.
window and click previous. The customer payment for a job, like think about the exam for Bob Mason.
Okay.
Click the record bonus. How do we say it? Bonus check. Bottom at the top of the window.
So receive payments, you're going to look for the person. Okay.
And receive bonus check in like in the top of the window.
At the top of the window, record bounced check. Okay. And what happens when you normally do this? Okay. What happens when you receive a bounced check?
If we don't have the money, saying
No. If the customer doesn't have the money, what happens to your bank account when the customer gives you a faulty check?
Okay. The
They
minute
charge you for it?
Yes, the bank charges you. So if the bank charges you money, what do you need to do?
charge the customer for your
Mm-hmm.
loss.
Mm-hmm.
Um, pass it on to the customer.
Good. You need to assess you need to assess um, assess those charges and have the customer pay for your loss. Okay, good. Okay. And then don't forget to read that section in your book of what happens if you write a faulty check. Okay. Rule of thumb is you should just cancel the check that you just had and submit a new one. Okay. That's just number one. But make sure you read all, I think there's like 6 or 7 different things that you can do if you are the person who is writing the bad check. Okay.
Yeah, that's page 178.
Okay, let me see. Thank you. 178.
Yes.
If you let's see. Right here is where we left off. So blue is things that we did not finish. Yellow is going to be what we skipped over because we haven't gone over those chapters. So here, let's go ahead and finish up this section right here, which is section chapter 4. Okay. So in this case, okay, how to record transactions, okay, in the purchase workflow. So in this case, the purchase workflow is going to be down here, okay, the purchase workflow. So we'll just go ahead and skip that question. But it's in how and why to record a vendor credit. Why do you need to record a vendor credit?
So that you can apply those. Um, Let me see. That's if the vendor paid too much, they overpaid, and they have a credit, or are you issuing them a credit like as a coupon?
This is a vendor credit, not a credit
Okay, vendor.
memo.
So the vendor is the one that's selling to you.
Mm-hmm.
So you said, how do you? What was the question?
How and why to record a vendor credit. Let's talk about why first, and then let's talk about how you would do it.
Okay.
So
I would
why
say,
why why would you, first of all, why would you have a vendor credit in the first place?
I don't know.
Vendor include every person or company from whom you purchase or service.
Vendor
Okay.
credit would be when you return an item.
Excellent. Why?
So
Okay, return an item. What else? There's much more than just returning an item.
um, you overpaid for an item.
Overpayment. Good.
A refund for damaged products.
Good. Refund. What else can you use a vendor credit for? You can use it if a vendor gives you a discount. Okay. So let's talk about how. How would you how would you enter in the vendor credit? And then we'll talk about how you apply a vendor credit.
Uh, Vendor center, select the vendor icon in the vendor section of the homepage.
Okay.
Click vendor icon on the icon bar. The new vendor window display.
We're not, we're, I'm talking about entering a vendor credit, not a new vendor.
Mm.
Okay, there in my notes I have it. There's three ways to pay a vendor. So that would be recording checks or electronic funds using the write a check function or recording accounts payable bills through the enter bill. On page 127.
This is I already made the purchase. Now the question is, I'm demanding for a refund because they sent me damaged goods. So how do I enter in a vendor credit?
You go to the home page and open up enter bills.
Okay, any way that you can enter in a bill. Okay, what is at the top of the enter bills? Okay, if any way that I can enter in a bill, okay, what's at the top of my bill?
The vendor name.
The customer information?
Not okay. No, 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 no. Keep going. Higher than that, Orlando.
Check right check
No.
icon home.
Okay, so if you're saying that I can enter in a vendor credit through a bill,
Yeah, check the right check and icon on the home page.
no.
No, you can't. You're that's the you're billing the customer. You're giving them a credit, right? So the bill is
We are dealing with vendors, no customers at all.
You said vendor credit, correct?
No,
Vendor
you
credit, correct.
change bill to credit.
Yes, there's a button right here that changes the bill into a credit. So this is how you enter in a vendor credit. Good. Okay.
easy. It was right there.
Okay, so enter bills, switch to credit. All right. How do you apply a vendor credit to a bill? How do I apply my refund to a bill?
Check on the enter bill icon on the home page.
Okay.
Enter the bill show in, like they give us example, and we need to, like, put all the information they need from us,
Okay.
and they saying check save new.
No, that's entering a bill. How do I apply my vendor credit?
Uh,
Again, select pay bills.
You're going to select pay bills.
Uh, use the
Would
check.
you accredit their account?
Remember, this is a vendor, not a customer. You're not giving anybody any credit. You're not giving anybody anything. You're receiving. So my question is to you, how do I apply a credit to my bill?
Yeah, open the vendor and then set credits.
Mm,
Select pay bill icon from the home
Use
page.
the unpaid bill.
Good. So you go to the pay bills window and
click show all bills
the-
and leave check in the payment method file and checking in the account file.
no. So Orlando had it right. When you go to the pay bills window, you have the set credits button.
Mm-hmm.
So select pay bills, select set credit. Okay. All right. How and why to record vendor deposits. First off, let's talk about why. Why would you need to have a vendor deposit?
Sorry, can you repeat this question?
How and why? So let's talk about why. Why would you need to record a vendor deposit?
Deposit.
The vendor requires you to make a deposit for a service or a product.
Excellent, right? A vendor requires you to make a deposit for the service slash product. Good. Okay. What does that tell me if you do make that deposit?
You have to pay the bill. I mean, get pay a deposit. So you have to write the check.
Okay, we'll talk about the how in a second. So in this case, right, if a vendor requires you to make a deposit for a service or a product, that ensures that you are committed. Okay, so this ensures that you are committed to the agreement of the product or service. Okay? Especially let's say I decide I'm gonna sell something for $2,000 and I'm gonna have to special order it. If I don't make my customer pay me or my vendor pay me, right? Or I'm ordering a $2,000 computer, right? And that vendor doesn't expect me to pay, I can say, well, I never committed to the agreement, so I could say I'm never coming back. What does that do for you as a vendor? That makes you lose business because you didn't take money away from the customer, right? In this case, I didn't have a deposit. So therefore, you end up losing money because you worked so hard to call and get that item to your store and the person never showed up. So that's the purpose of having a vendor deposit is you're ensuring that you are committed to whatever product services that you're agreeing to. Okay? Now, how do you create a vendor deposit?
Write a check. Go to home page. Click. Write a check.
Okay? What do you do when you write a check? There's something specific you have to do in order for you to create a vendor deposit. Because you can just write a check to the vendor.
Create an invoice?
No, this is not customers.
You go to the check to accounts payable.
Okay, good. Code check to accounts payable. What else? One more specific thing. you must assign the vendor's name under customer/job for it to pick up that and put it into your vendor credits. Okay? And then how do you apply the deposit? When you pay, you're going to click pay bills, and it's going to be the same thing. Apply or set credits. Okay?
So that's when you receive the invoice,
The bill.
or the bill.
When you receive the bill, okay, then you're going to go to click pay bills, and what you're going to do is you'll have it on the list of there, and you're going to set the credit. So, but the first thing that you need to do is, yes, good. You need to create a check, and you need to assign it to the accounts payable account. That is 100% correct. The third thing that you need to have is assign it to that customer/job. So then QuickBooks knows, okay, this check is for this particular person. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about how to use the loan manager. How do you use a loan manager? Let's talk about what the loan manager does. What does it do?
Does that keep track of the loans that you have?
Correct. Track loans you have. Good. Now let's talk about how. How do you use, or how do you get the opportunity to use the loan manager?
You
There's
mean to say how to document the loan?
yes and no, but in this case, there's only one way to be able to access the loan manager.
Go to the banking menu and choose loan manager.
Okay, so banking. Okay, so banking loan manager. Okay, what can I do in my loan manager?
Add the loan.
You can add the loan, you can pay the loan, you can schedule a payment for the loan. So yes, you can do a lot of things in the loan. You can even enter a bill for the loan. Instead of having to pay it right then and there, you can choose to schedule a payment or enter in a bill. Okay, so I'm going to put here, you can pay loan, you can schedule payments. Okay, okay, how? You said banking menu. Loan manager. Good. All right, so here is chapter 8, how to create a sales tax item. So we kind of talked about that in chapter 3. How do you create a sales tax item?
Do you have to apply the code? Set up a sales tax code to apply it?
Well, not well. How do you? Well, first off, how do you create the sales tax item?
From home page, select manage sale tax icon.
Mm, that is one way that you could do it.
Click the pay sale tax button.
Nope, you're not. You're not trying to pay the sales tax. You're trying to create it. How do you create the sales tax item in the first place?
Items list.
Items list. Good. So any way that you can get to the items list. Okay.
Items menu, go down, choose other.
Choose other. What do you mean by that?
Let me go back to my QuickBooks.
Okay, so items and services. If we click new, how do I create a sales tax item?
Right click, choose new.
Mm-hmm. And then what do I do there?
Put in the sales tax rate.
No, you need to select what kind of item are you going to create.
Other charge.
Not it.
No?
Sales tax item.
Sales tax item.
Sales tax item. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I missed that.
Okay, so in this case, item list, new, and you're going to create a sales tax item. Okay. Know the difference between a sales tax item and sales tax group item. Okay? There's a huge difference between the two. Okay? How to complete the workflow for inventory. So in this case, from purchase orders to receive items to recording the bill. Okay, so in this case, what does a purchase order do? How do I create a purchase order?
That's when you're ordering your supplies.
Good. Submit an order for supplies, or it doesn't have to be necessarily supplies, it could be for services. Okay? If you need some handyman to come fix your bathroom, that's a service that you have to request. But in this case, we're talking about purchasing items. Yes, actually, yeah, you're right. Let me erase that. So yes. So when you're buying items, right? Now, how do you create a purchase order? There are the 7 ways. I know 6 ways. Just list me one. How do I create a purchase order?
From the preferences.
Nope.
No?
It's just creating a purchase order. If you're trying to order something.
Or ordering.
Mm-hmm.
So when you use the purchase item, you'll be able to create a report that shows what you have ordered and when it's due to arrive from the supplier, including a list of open purchase orders. Is that right?
Well, in this case, how do I create the purchase orders in the first place?
From the home page, click purchase order.
Excellent. That's one way. Home page.
Okay.
You click on purchase orders. Good. Okay, remember, there are 6 different ways. Exhaust and learn all of them. Okay?
From the vendors menu,
Then-
create purchase orders.
Excellent. Okay? Now,
What I know so far.
okay, well, there's that. If you go to the vendor center, you're able to do new transactions, right click on the person, manage transactions, and then you also have it available on your income tracker. Okay? So that's 5 ways. All right, so
We have that in the test.
you could have any of those questions, yes. Your navigation questions are going to look different from mine, but you could get a possibility of getting a navigation question that says, put the steps in order. And if you get a purchase order question, it can ask you any question. It can ask you to do it through the homepage. It can ask you to do it through the vendor center. Okay? So you need to be able to know every single way.
And
Right.
there's 6 different ways.
There are 6 different ways.
Okay.
Creating purchase order.
Mm-hmm. What about receiving items? What happens when you receive items? There are 2 things that you will have: with a bill, and then you'll have without a bill. So what happens when you receive items with a bill?
That's an invoice.
Okay, to us, you have to be very, very careful with using invoices versus bills. Because in QuickBooks, you say invoice. To us, we understand that as billing your customers.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
So you go to the received items,
Mm-hmm.
go to the vendor menu and select received items.
Okay, you can do it that way, or if you go on the home page, you have 2 options. What happens, my question is, what happens when you actually receive an item with the bill? So I go to my home page, right? Drop down menu. What happens if I receive an item with the bill?
You go to the vendor section of the home page, and
Okay.
without a bill,
I'm asking with the bill.
with a bill,
What happens when you click on receive items with the bill?
and you choose receive inventory. Oh, that's without.
You enter bill and pay the bill.
Correct. You enter it. It just simply you okay. So when you receive items with the bill, you're going to get a open purchase order, obviously. Open purchase order window. Okay. And you're just going to enter in a bill. Enter the bill. And then afterwards, you got to pay the bill. Now, what happens when I select without a bill? What do I get instead of a bill if I choose to receive items without a bill?
Is it a voucher?
What kind of voucher is it? What's that voucher called? Okay, if I receive items, so that's with the bill. Okay, so you just enter in a plain bill. Okay, but what happens if I enter in items without a bill?
Without a bill.
What happens when I select it?
At the top there where it says bill received, but this is received item bill to follow. Can you click on the drop down menu?
What drop down menu? I already selected receive items without a bill. What do I get? this voucher that you were talking about. What is this voucher called?
A receipt?
What kind of receipt? There's two receipts in this.
Item receipt?
We get an item receipt. Okay, so this is your packaging slip. Okay, so oftentimes when you do get more than one shipment, it's a packaging slip. This packaging slip is called an item receipt.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now in this case, receiving the bill or recording the bill. So once we have our item receipts, right, how do we record the bill that's associated once we get our last shipment?
Click on bill received.
You can do that at the top here, received, okay? But in this case, they show you what's on the homepage. What's after receiving items, what comes after the homepage.
Enter bills against the inventory.
Good. Enter bills against inventory, which is going to be recording the bill. Enter bills against inventory. All right. And what this essentially does is it takes the item receipts, and converts them into bills. Okay. And then you can go ahead and proceed to paying a bill. Okay. How and why to use group items. So I just talked about this. What is a group item? How do you know when to use a group item? Which is different from an inventory assembly.
A group item allow you to use one item to bundle, surface, separate item company.
Good. So in this case, it's when you want to sell a bundle package, okay, of already existing items. So you're just putting one and one together. Okay? How do you use inventory assembly? When you want to build a product. Okay? And we talked about this. What are the steps? What are the steps for creating an inventory assembly, and how do you initiate that? What are the steps to creating a inventory assembly?
Is it non-inventory?
No. Inventory assembly is its own item. But you can build a product that includes both inventory part and non-inventory part. If you're really that specific, you can even add a service in there to put in labor. But that's for manufacturing companies, and we're not in the business of manufacturing. We are in the business of just strictly retail. Okay? So yes, you can combine. If you try to build a product, you can use both inventory and non-inventory parts. But my question is, how? There is 2 steps to do this.
For like managing inventory.
No, we're not managing inventory.
So build a product, inventory part, and non-inventory part. So you want to know the how.
Yes. How do I build a product?
by assembling it.
Okay, good. How do I do that in QuickBooks? How do I navigate myself to create my product? That's the question I'm asking.
Like setting inventory part item.
You're not creating an inventory part item. How do I build a product in QuickBooks? How do I initiate? How do I build my product?
First, you order the supplies.
Well, okay, obviously, besides that, my question is how do I record it in QuickBooks and tell QuickBooks to build the product?
So are you talking about bundling?
No,
No, no more.
this is not a group item.
No longer
Is
group.
it invoicing for inventory item?
No.
So it's inventory assembly.
Good. How do I create an inventory assembly?
You, you create an item first.
Good. Okay. I need to create an inventory assembly item, which is going to be more or less the blueprints, right? I need to instruct QuickBooks to say I'm building a product. How do I do that? I need to first initiate the blueprints. So, what's the blueprints? It's going to be creating. So, you're going to create inventory assembly items, right? Okay, which is how do I do that? How do I create an inventory assembly item? How do I create any item?
You go to list, then new item.
Good. Items list. New. And then you're going to select inventory assembly. Okay. Now that I entered in my blueprints, how do I actually tell QuickBooks to build my product? Just because I say I'm going to build a product, right? Or I have a product that is a bundle is more or less a combination of my items. How do I build it?
Is that where you build the where you no, that's what the custom. Is that the one where you build it as it's being done?
No.
No.
Open up your books, chapter 8. It's a whole section on how I do inventory assemblies.
Yeah, that's where I am, but I'm not seeing assembly.
It's towards the end of your book.
Inventory assemblies.
Inventory assemblies, right?
What page is that?
Sorry, which page?
314.
314.
So now that I put the blueprints
Oh, okay.
in my QuickBooks, how do I actually process the blueprints to actually build my product?
You click on build of materials.
Where?
Um,
Select menu,
Which menu?
list menu, and then choose item list.
No, I'm not creating an inventory assembly. I already done that. My question is what's step 2?
Oh, select the item button, drop down list at the bottom left of the item list, and select new.
I already done that. I'm asking you what happens after you've already built you already entered in your inventory assembly item. How do you actually tell QuickBooks to physically build the product?
Oh, select the vendor menu, select inventory activity, and then choose build assembly.
Good. So select vendor's menu. All right. Inventory activities. And you're going to actually build the product. Okay. Okay. So in this case, this is a two-step process because just because you sell a product, right, you need to build it. You need to piece it together so then you have the item available for you to sell. Okay. So that's also in real life, right? If you're gonna tell me you're a cake shop, right, and you're saying I have flour, eggs, sugar, and I don't know, whatever you need to build a cake, right? Now, are you gonna tell me I have all these materials? I'm gonna sell you the flour, sugar, eggs, and whatever separately.
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon, sure. Am I gonna tell you I have all these products? I listed them out already. No, you're gonna build it and then you're gonna sell it. Okay? So that's the same idea, okay? You may have all the items available. You could put it in a list. You can have your recipe. But the second portion is you need to build it. Okay? All right. So let's answer this last question right here and then we'll go on a break, okay? So here, what is units of measure? How do you use units of measure?
This is 8 or 4.
I've already separated the whole entire study guide by chapter. So in this case, this is we're still on chapter 8.
Okay. How to use unit of measure.
How to use unit of measure.
If I'm not mistaken, this part is before inventory assemblies. Let's talk about what is units of measure. Why do we need to use it?
Imagine that, okay, by the case of
Select list menu and then choose items list. Click on items and service.
Okay, and then what?
Um, Double click the frame. Edit the items window will open. Enter the word each in the units of measure field.
Okay, good.
That's on page 313.
So in this case, right? So what does units of measure do? Why is it so important that you need to label each when you sell a product?
Okay. It allows you to assign units such as hours, foot, case, each, etc.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, why is that so important?
okay, it's saying here inventory and purchase order are active. Like to active the inventory and the purchase.
I'm not talking about inventory. I'm not talking about purchases. I'm talking about units of measure.
It'll
Yeah.
kind of break it down like by each,
Cor-
by each, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Good. It's giving it a label. It's assigning a specific. So this is more for the sake of as a vendor or as a person who's providing these services, right? Or anything like that, right? What is the best way to be cost effective? You buy in bulk, right? I can go to Costco and buy a whole box of 50 chips, right? And I can open that box and sell them individually. And right, I could say that one bag of chip is 50 cents each. But if you want to buy the whole box from me, it's $10. Okay? Does that make sense?
Because each chip is a unit,
Correct.
so that it would add up. That would be the unit of measure.
Correct. Okay, so why would you do it? Okay, I'm going to say for purposes of buying in bulk, you can assign / sell individually by labeling by each package. What did you say? Each, hour, etc., etc. Okay. Okay. How? Well, first you need to activate it. So that's important that you need to activate units of measure. Okay.
That's on page 311.
311, page 311, okay? And then you need to enter in a unit of measure on the items list items on the set up items window. Okay? All right, so right now it is 9:56. Go ahead and take your 15-minute break. Be back no later than 10:10.